Whoever has my baby or knows the whereabouts of my baby, will you please, I'm begging you, please bring me my baby, please.
Just 8 hours after she was born, Kamiyah Mobley taken.
It doesn't matter how we get the baby back, just that we get the baby back.
Today, after 18 years, a young woman learns who she really is as the mystery behind her disappearance is solved and the woman Kamiyah called Mom is behind bars.
It's one of the biggest stories across the nation tonight. A baby stolen 18 years ago is found alive. This is First Coast News at 11. I'm Anthony Austin. We're talking about Kamiyah Mobley. She learned her true identity today. Here's a look at her baby photo. Maybe you remember seeing this photo back in 1998. The case of missing baby Kamiyah captivated our city and drew national attention. Today, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office arrested 51-year-old Gloria Williams in Walterboro, South Carolina, about 4 hours north here of Jacksonville. Investigators say Williams took Kamiyah and raised her as her own under a different name. And for the last 18 years, the pair, they've been living as mother and daughter. Well, tonight, all of that is changing. Her biological family is overwhelmed.
I tell you, ain't nothing like today. Y'all tell everybody that Friday the 13th is not always a bad day. See, I just really want to know how she was doing. And we seen her. We seen her today. I'm so out of breath. She said, told her mama that she looked like her daddy and all that. Been talking real. She sounds so intelligent, so respectful. And she said she'll be here to see us. But I thank God today. I thank God today. I thank God today. Oh, yes, Lord.
A very emotional grandmother there, and we have the story covered from every angle, but we start with new information tonight about Kamiyah's biological mother. Our Julia Janae is live at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office with the latest. Julia, what can you tell?
That's right, Anthony. Today we went to the home of Shannara Mobley, the birth mother of Kamiyah, and we talked to neighbors who said that she was likely too emotional to talk to us. We do believe that she was inside, and they told us that they know all about Kamiyah, that she, the mother, threw birthday parties every year for her missing daughter. Here's a post that she put on her Facebook page back in 2014, celebrating her daughter's 16th birthday, saying that you are truly loved wherever you are. Now, while we were there this evening, 2 JSO officers in patrol cars arrived at the Mobley home. Some people left the house, got into a family vehicle, then those 2 police units in a caravan with that vehicle left the Mobley house. Now, JSO tells us they can't confirm the destination or where or when a reunion between the mother and the daughter will occur, but many who have seen this story are characterizing it as a bittersweet one, especially for that 18-year-old who didn't know she had family, and she is now meeting new family for the first time, and her mother that she's known her entire life now facing charges and will be brought here to JSO to face those charges. In Walterboro, South Carolina is where she is now, and our own Clark Foraker joins us now from South Carolina. Clark.
Yeah, Julie, now the news has spread throughout this small South Carolina town, but early this morning when this all started, no one here even knew the name Kamiyah Mobley. The 18-year-old woman had for her whole life lived here and gone by a different name. So this news has shocked this community. It's a peaceful town, and something this elaborate rarely happens here. Both the attention from law enforcement and from the media now that Kamiyah's been found. She was in court today, Gloria Williams was, and that is the woman that Kamiyah's known as her mother for her whole life, and it was, simply put, a very emotional hearing.
The city of Walterboro is simply put confused. Why the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office is even here. For the past 18 years, they've not known Kamiyah Mobley, but a different woman.
Sweet, intelligent, smart, it's just so much stuff that I can't really name. She was everything that a mother would want in a daughter.
Neighbor Lakeisha Jenkins knew the family well. She worked with Gloria Williams, a woman known around here as Mom.
I can't believe what I was hearing, what I seen, because like I said, I never knew Gloria would do that.
The family is well respected in the community. It's why so many are shocked and say they're not turning on Gloria Williams or the young woman she raised.
She would come over here, she would sit on the porch, or she would knock on the door, she would be like, hey, Miss Keisha, because she said miss, she had manners.
Williams and the young woman were both in a courtroom this afternoon. The judge allowed the two to embrace. The confusion overwhelming for the young woman, whose definition of family is forever changed.
Kamiyah told her mom she loved her and that she was praying for her. Gloria Williams, who's been arrested for kidnapping and avoiding justice charges, she's basically waived bond today. She'll be extradited back to Florida and go before a judge there administratively, and that really is the next step in this case. Live in Walterboro, South Carolina, I'm Clark Foraker, First Coast News.
Clark, thank you. Also new tonight, for the first time, we're hearing from a woman who was there at University Medical Center, now which is known as UF Health, when baby Kamiyah was taken. She says she saw the alleged kidnapper that you see here, Gloria Williams. Our Honey Rodriguez sat down with her tonight and has the latest on what she told her.
That's right, Anthony. And that woman, her name is Quennell Henderson, and she talked to me about what she remembers that day almost 18 years ago. She says it was a mix of emotions. What started off being a day of celebration for her, she met her granddaughter, turned into a very chaotic evening.
She finally arrived, and so we were just so excited about seeing her.
This is Quennell Henderson's granddaughter. She was born prematurely July 7th, 1998, at what was then University Medical Center. Henderson visited her daughter-in-law and newborn granddaughter 3 days later, July 10th.
I went upstairs to see her. She was a tiny little thing. She only weighed like 2 pounds.
She also remembers seeing something unusual a few minutes after her visit with the newborn.
And as I was coming downstairs on the elevator, there was this black female that you guys are showing the picture of and everything like that. She was pushing a laundry cart. She came by me very, very fast, pushing the laundry cart, and there was a black male with her. I didn't think anything of it.
That day, July 10th, while Henderson was visiting her granddaughter, Kamiyah Mobley was kidnapped from the hospital. News of her disappearance spread fast.
They were, stopping everybody and, checking bags and things like that. I seen police officers everywhere in every exit.
Henderson says she was confused and scared when she heard the news.
We were scared. We were very concerned, to know that something of this magnitude had happened.
She believes it could have been her grandchild taken instead.
We just felt, sadness for that family that baby had been taken.
But today she tells me she couldn't be happier for that family and that little girl who is now 18 years old and is back with family once again. Anthony, back to you.
All right, let's talk about hospital security now. It has changed dramatically in the past 18 years. UF Health Jacksonville tells us new measures include more security guards, matching armbands for mothers and their newborns, and locked doors protected by key cards. We also stopped over at Memorial Hospital. They say their security measures evolve continually. It has to do with education and making sure their employees know what to look out for. And this case affected so many in this community, particularly those in law enforcement. Our Ann Schindler spoke to some of those who were involved in the earliest days of this case.
It's hard to overstate just how all-consuming this case was. Police detectives chased more than 2,000 leads. They traveled as far as Nova Scotia and Puerto Rico. Now, most of those involved have long since retired, but Kamiyah Mobley is a name they will never forget.
On Friday, Sheriff Mike Williams praised the work of his cold case squad for chasing down the tip that found Kamiyah Mobley. But the tip itself came from a hotline created by Jacksonville attorney Jay Howell. The former national director of the Center for Missing and Exploited Children says they created the 800 hotline to connect with ordinary people.
30 years ago, when we set up that hotline, we would have said that a hospital abduction recovery decades later is I don't know if that can happen, but we were pleasantly surprised that it has happened.
Former JSO Director George Luders was in charge of coordinating the investigation. He has not forgotten the intensity of that search.
You could not turn anywhere in the city of Jacksonville or surrounding areas during this time that her picture was not on, that her name was not mentioned. You see somebody pushing a baby in a stroller, you would stop and look to see if it resembled Kamiyah's composite. It was just automatic. That's how to the forefront it was back in 1998, that everybody was looking for that baby.
When he retired after 32 years, he says he and others had lost hope that she'd ever be found alive.
To be honest with you, after we had pursued all those tips and leads, the thought of her not being alive would kind of come to the forefront, that maybe someone had killed her and buried her, disposed of the body or something like that, where we would never know what happened to her. So this is really a joyous outcome on it.
Interestingly, this is not the oldest hospital abduction case. Howell recalled the case of Carlina White, who was abducted from a New York hospital as an infant. She eventually solved her own kidnapping when she realized the woman who raised her was in fact her abductor. That woman was sentenced to 23 years in prison, one for every year the girl was missing. Ann Schindler, First Coast News.
And we were the first to break this story on air and online. You can download the First Coast News app for the latest up-to-the-minute information on this case. Still ahead tonight on First Coast News at 11, an SUV slams right into a cell phone store. And this is all caught on camera. I mean, look at that. What in the world caused that? Well, up next, why police say this was no accident and exactly why the driver did this. Plus, we're going to talk about the commander-in-chief. He has just a few days left. Up next, President Obama speaks out about how much he's changed since he took office. We continue to follow breaking news right now. We have new surveillance images just in that show the missing man with his daughter that we told you about at the top of the newscast. This man is suicidal. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office once again says that he has threatened to kill himself and his daughter. This is Jimmy No and his daughter Nova. She's just 21 months old. He is believed to be driving a 2011 blue or teal Chevrolet Silverado crew cab. That's a truck with a Florida tag 1090 PM. If you have any information, you're asked to call 911.
Our climb will be steep. We may not get there in 1 year or even in one term. But America, I have never been more hopeful than I am tonight that we will get there.
Tonight, President Obama is reflecting back on his presidency and his legacy. During an interview on Nightly News with NBC's Lester Holt that you saw right here on NBC 12, he looked back at footage from when he was first elected. When asked if he still had the same optimism and hope, here's what he had to say.
Did you see some idealism in that young man, though?
I did, and that idealism hasn't left. Look, I'm grayer. People like to note the additional wrinkles. But my spirit is unchanged. It's undaunted. I continue to believe that as frustrating as sometimes it can be, American democracy moves the ball forward.
And President Obama says during the last 8 years, the economy was stabilized. 20 million people have health care. Graduation rates are higher and unemployment is down. In just 1 week, President-elect Trump will be sworn in. Let's talk about some of the other top stories we're following tonight. The search is on for one of the drivers involved in a hit and run in St. Johns County. Florida Highway Patrol officers say a person was hit and killed by 2 cars on US 1 this morning. One driver stayed and cooperated, but the driver of a maroon Ford did not stop and just left the scene. So if you know anything, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number, 866-845-TIPS. We also have some new information now about why Congressman John Rutherford collapsed at the Capitol building. His chief of staff says he had an allergic reaction to antibiotics and had a digestive flare-up. Rutherford collapsed Wednesday in the cloakroom of the Capitol and was rushed to the hospital. He is said to be on his way to a very swift recovery. Rutherford was the JSO sheriff for about 12 years. And dramatic video tonight showing the moment a Florida woman decided she was going to drive into a cell phone store on purpose. So this is why police say she was angry about a broken iPhone that she wasn't allowed to exchange. Once inside, employees say she smashed glass display cases and threw items around the store. 2 people were hurt. She now faces, as you can imagine, a list of charges. Wow. Well, the third and final hearing into the sinking of the El Faro has been announced. The Coast Guard Marine Board of Investigation will be here in Jacksonville next month. This hearing will examine additional elements of the investigation, including crew witnesses. The El Faro and its 33 crew members sank on its way from Jacksonville to Puerto Rico at the height of Hurricane Joaquin. Tonight, a nationally recognized law firm is now joining a federal lawsuit against JSO. The lawsuit claims Vernell Bing was a victim of excessive and deadly force by Officer Tyler Landreville. Landreville shot Bing in May after he led deputies on a chase through several Northside neighborhoods. The firm joining the suit specializes in wrongful death and police misconduct cases. Well, someone in Jacksonville is $100,000 richer tonight, and, well, they may not even know it. An unclaimed winning Fantasy 5 ticket was sold back in August worth $113,000, and now it's close to expiring. The deadline to claim this top prize is January 30th at midnight, so you don't have long. Those winning numbers, 7, 16, 25, 33, 36. This was sold at Primetime Food Store on Norfolk Boulevard, August 3rd. So if that is you, I don't know, maybe it's you, Tim. The prize must be claimed at a district lottery office or its headquarters in Tallahassee. All right, football fans, we want to give you a heads up about a change. Sunday afternoon's NFL playoff game between the Steelers and the Chiefs is now being rescheduled because of an ice storm forecasted for Kansas City. So kickoff is now set for 8 Sunday night. You can all see it right here on NBC 12.
And for those not familiar with that kind of weather, you know, you think, gosh, football players, football fans, they can handle rough weather. Snow and cold weather, that's one thing, but ice, very concerned about safety up there.
Not the best playing conditions.
No, that is for sure, or even getting there. To watch it, right. So let's hope that the forecast is right, and by late in the afternoon on Sunday, it's only 36 degrees, meaning above freezing, and therefore Kansas City having rain by then instead of freezing rain. Watch it. We talked about it last night. That is, watch this area, that is. Over the week, we've been talking about torrential rains, big storms over California. Yes, long-term, helping them with their drought, but short-term, in many areas of the state, they've not been able to handle it. But now that energy and moisture is spreading out over where the very cold air is located, and it's falling, in fact, even in Kansas City, and beginning to freeze and glaze the highways, there's a big concern it's going to become so heavy the power lines will be coming down as well. Look at this. This is one of the newer satellite pictures or in combination with computer models that this would indicate strong, heavy thunderstorms and then feeding right into where there are temperatures below freezing. Now, this would be Sunday about 11 p.m., so hopefully this forecast is not right because that would indicate that's still a major ice storm going on in and around the Kansas City area during the game. So stay tuned for that. For us, we've been talking about the Caribbean anticyclone. The Bahamian block. Bottom line, the reason why we went from Arctic air then to warm air, and with the big high here, that is all the way from the surface to 30,000 feet, those strong fronts can't make it here. But that also means now some of that tropical moisture will begin to spread our way. We're not going to have a washout of a weekend. Just want to let you know there will be some isolated showers. The greatest risk will be south of Duval through the weekend. The greatest risk of morning fog will be west and northwest. Bottom line, not too bad. I think you're going to call it nice through Martin Luther King Day, and then even warmer come Wednesday and Thursday.
Well, coming up next in sports, the dust has settled, but more hires are just beginning. News regarding the future of the Jags defense out tonight. That's coming up next in sports.
What else is there? What the hell would you be doing this for if it wasn't to win?
Yeah.
We're trying to win we're trying to win today. Who's going to get the better lunch?
Yes, you've probably heard that by now, but will it ever really get old for Jags fans waking up this morning? Things just felt a little different, and they should. Coughlin is back to finish what he started, and we don't have to go into yet another weekend of playoff football wondering
who the heck the Jags' next head coach is going to be. More moves were made today as far as hires. Another former Jag is coming back to Jags. Former special teams coordinator Joe DeCamillis will return for the same role under Doug Marrone. He oversaw special teams during the 2007 and 2008 seasons, and he was previously in Denver, where he helped lead the Broncos to a Super Bowl title following the 2015 season. He's been in the league since '98 and is now the first hire of the new Jags era. Also breaking tonight, Doug Marrone will keep his previous defensive coordinator in Todd Wash. Wash was promoted from D-line coach to defensive coordinator last offseason. They finished 5th in the league in passing defense and 6th in total defense. Now, in some non-coaching news, today the Jags headed out to Clay County to surprise 50 students from Lake Asbury Elementary School to participate in an NFL Play 60 event at the Pro Bowl in Orlando. Now, the Jags and the Bucks will both host community groups from their region at that Play 60 clinic at ESPN's A Wide World of Sports. Of course, the NFL now calling an audible thanks to Mother Nature. The start time for the AFC divisional game has been moved back to 8:20 Eastern from the original 1:05 kickoff at Arrowhead Stadium. That's because the National Weather Service said there's an ice storm warning earlier today for the Kansas City area with the possibility of freezing rain through Sunday afternoon. You can still watch that game on NBC 12. And as of right now, 5 of 6 coaching vacancies have been filled. Most noticeably, the 30-year-old Sean McVay, who heads to LA to try to lead the Rams to success as now the youngest coach in modern NFL history. McVay speaking to media today, sounding very similar to our own Tom Coughlin.
Anybody that tells you in this league the ultimate goal is not to win a Lombardi trophy is kidding themselves. But we know that in order to do that, it takes a process, a standard of performance, and we're going to be very committed to that. And that's a daily approach.
LA or Jacksonville, we'll see where the Lombardi trophy heads. That's it for sports. We'll be right back.